Hi guys, Victor from easycodinglab.com. Today we're going to discuss something interesting which I know you should like it. What are we discussing today? Have you heard of CURL, client URL, or kill, depending on how you call it? Client URL is a command line language which has been made available to programming languages like PHP. With this command line language, which are made available to PHP through libkill, you can use this to make queries from remote servers. For example, if you have an API or a web service that you want to make an HTTP call to, aside using jQuery or Ajax, you can also use kill to do this. But I'll be using the word kill, CURL, client URL interchangeably. I mean the same thing. Well, I've written a detailed article on this topic, making HTTP calls using kill, on my blog. I will put the URL in the description section of this video. And this video is going to be in the form of screencast. Yeah, I'm going to demonstrate to you how you can use kill to make a web service call or HTTP calls. I'm going to demonstrate this using PHP because I love PHP developers. Anyway, although if you're not a PHP developer, the syntax is different, but then the concept is the same, so you are not totally lost. Just watch the video and then apply the concept in whatever programming language that you use. I know kill is available in other programming languages as well. After the demonstration, I will put the file. I'll put the file that I will use for the demonstration in my GitHub repository, and I'll also put the link in the description section of this video. Please, after watching this video, don't forget to subscribe. It's very, very important. Please subscribe. And when you happen to find yourself on my blog too, don't forget to subscribe. I hope you enjoyed the screencast. Thank you for watching. Hi guys, welcome to the screencast. I'm going to take you through how to use kill or CURL to make remote server queries. Kill or CURL stand for client URL. It's a command line language that has been made available to programming languages such as PHP. And kill can be used, as I said earlier, to make remote server queries through a library called libkill. With kill, you can make HTTP calls from a remote server. You can also send and retrieve messages from a remote server. You can also retrieve files and also send files to a remote server using this same command line language. Kill is an interesting tool that actually will make a lot of your work easier using PHP. I use this library a lot in my HTTP course, and today I'm going to take you through how you can use this as well. This tutorial is going to be basic, but then I've written a detailed article about kill on my blog, easycodinglab.com. So after this video, if you need any detailed explanation or detailed insights about client URL, you can visit my blog. The URL will be somewhere in the comments or the description area of this video. So do visit there for detailed clarifications. Okay, with all that said, let's jump into it. Before you can use kill, you need to enable the extension in your php.ini. So let's locate where the extension is to enable it. In mine, locate your PHP folder, look for php.ini. Look for curl or curl. If it has not been enabled, you see a semicolon beside it like this. So just take up the semicolon, save your file, and then restart your Apache, and curl will be enabled. If you want to be sure if curl has been enabled on your system, go to your browser and type your domain / info.php. If curl has been correctly enabled on your system, you see curl over here like this. If you don't see it, that means curl has not been enabled. Make sure you take up the semicolon and then you restart your Apache server, and then you'll be fine. If curl is enabled, then you can now start with your curl programming. What I'm going to use to demonstrate how you can use curl to make HTTP calls is a web service that I've created for just the purpose of this tutorial. I've created a web service that returns a JSON response of a list of banks. So this is the URL of the web service. When you hit the web service or the API, it returns a list of banks, and we're going to retrieve this remote URL through our code. So let's create our file. I'll name this file index.php. Now, for a better name to depict what exactly I'm doing, let me name this curl.php. So I open my PHP tag. In curl programming, it mainly involves 3 steps. First, what you do is you initialize the curl, and then you set up curl, and then you execute curl. So that's exactly what you're going to do over here. So first, I will create a variable to hold the URL to our API or web service. I'll go and copy the URL here. So I'm now going to initialize curl with the URL that I've assigned to the variable here. Again, I'll initialize curl and assign it to the variable curl. So curl has now been initialized. So this is the command for initializing curl. Next, we are now going to set are attributes or are options for the execution of curl. So I've now set the URL that I've assigned to the variable URL over here. We now go ahead to assign to set up the header of the return variable. So here I've set up the header type. That's what the API or the web service will be returning. The web service will be returning a JSON object. So I specify the content type as JSON over here, and that's how you set it up in curl. So what you're doing is you setting it against the initialization of this curl. So you put here the curl initializer, and then you specify the HTTP header. In the HTTP header, that curl option HTTP header, you specify the contents of your return string or your response. So we are expecting a JSON object, so I specify a JSON as a return type over here. We go ahead with our curl setup. What I've done here is to set my return response. So what this return response does is that if you set it as true, whatever content type that your API is returning, it's going to set it as a string. But if you set it as false, then it will not set it as a string. But if you set it as true, it will set it as a string. And that's what I want, so I'll set it as true over here. Now we are done with the curl setup. So the next thing we're going to do is to execute curl. And I'll save this in a variable called response. So this is the command to execute the curl. After that, let's print the results or the return content, and then let's see how it is. So this is going to print the content of the response variable in our browser. So now that we have this done, let's go to the browser. Let me go get the directory where I saved my file. Exactly our results. So I've been able to use curl to execute the API that I've created, which is this, and our response is the same as what we expect. So this is how you can use curl to make HTTP calls to remote service. For instance, if you have something like a Google Map API and you want to make call using HTTP, you can use curl to execute the Google API just the way we've done with this example, and you'll get the results exactly as it is on the API. Again, let me further explain something to you over here. With curl, you can also get the information of the content that has been sent. For instance, the content that will be sent together with the response will also contain the HTTP code. HTTP code 200 means your request was successful. HTTP code 201 means that your request was created, and you will get successful code of 201 if you are doing a post request. That's if you are posting to a web service. That's when you get the HTTP code 021, means that your request has been successfully created. And HTTP code 202 means that your request has been accepted but has not been yet created. So I have a list of this HTTP status code on my blog. So just visit the link in the description area and you have a full list of all the HTTP codes that can help you in your programming. So I'm going to show you how you can get the HTTP headers from the response.
So you use the curl command, get curl underscore get info. So let's print out the content of info in the browser. Let's see what it returns. So this is the curl info that it returns. So it returns the URL of the API that you are using, which is this, and then also returns the content type, which is this. And then this is the HTTP code that I was talking about. So HTTP code 200 means that our request was successful. And a couple of other information that you can also get. So in order, if what you need from this information is just the HTTP code, then you can manipulate this by indexing your array with the HTTP code. So and this returns only the HTTP code, which is 200, and you can use this to do your success and failure responses. So back to our response message again. So guys, you can use client URL or C URL or curl to do a whole lot of things. It can really help you a lot in your programming. And it's an interesting tool. This is just the basics of curl that I've introduced you to. And you can do a lot. There are a lot of things that you can do with curl. Again, visiting my blog, I've listed a whole lot of setups that you can do using curl. You can use curl to check whether the URL you are sending to is HTTP SSL compliant or not, whether it is secured. You can, if the URL expects you to pass in username, password, you can set all this in the curl. If the API also expects a specific how do you call it? If the API expects a specific authentication type, you can also specify it in curl. For instance, if it's basic authentication, you can specify it in curl. It is the barrier method, you can specify it in curl. Whatever authentication method that the API specify requires, you can specify all in curl, and it will execute it exactly the way it is for you. I entreat you to research more into it, read more into it. You can visit my blog. I have a detailed article on curl, as I said, and practice it, and you will love curl. Thank you for watching. If you love this video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and when you get onto my blog too, please don't forget to subscribe.
If you love my videos and my article, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. If you have any comments or if you have any question that you want to ask me, you can send me a mail at victor@easycodinglab.com and I will swiftly respond. Thank you for watching.